Same. I'm with
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Pineapple.
No, buddy.
in the drawer sometimes. They're just having the time of my life.
Instagram pictures are together.
Oh my gosh.
Does it have a Thundercat?
Technology.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Oh no.
Buddy.
We never doubted on one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Launchpad Reseller Podcast Season 2. Let's go. My name is Bob. I'm the Rocket City Reseller, and we are your mission control for all things reselling. And what can I say? It's been a crazy first season. It's turning out to be even so much more so for Season 2. There is Ellie, our co-host. She does this with me. Every week we do 2 podcasts now, y'all. Okay, so if you're not tracking, the first one is Launchpad Reseller Podcast. That's this guy. And then we do Flipside Reseller Roundtable. Technically not a podcast. It's more of a roundtable discussion with other like-minded resellers. There's 6 of us. And we tell you the real, raw, and uncut version of reselling. So if you really want to know and dig into reselling, you're definitely going to want to check that one out. That one drops pre-recorded on Fridays at 6 p.m. So be sure to check that out. And what can I say about our guest tonight? Keith. Vintage Sports Flips is with us. And we appreciate you doing this, Keith. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, man. Yeah, thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. It's always fun to talk reselling, right? For sure.
Absolutely.
It's what we do. It's what we do.
Yeah.
Probably I enjoy podcasting more so than reselling. I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't know what it is.
It's a lot more relaxing for
Now
sure, right? Yeah.
Only we can get podcasting to make more money than reselling.
Yeah.
If only.
Not yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I could tank that 9 to 5 of mine. Keith and I were talking about being a part-time resellers. Keith, you're a part-time reseller too.
Correct.
Before we get into that, all the story, and I want to hear all about how you came to reselling. But first, I'm going to do what we call an icebreaker, okay? And I know you're a sports guy, and I'm not really a sports guy, but I do fancy some baseball once in a while. So I got some trivia for you.
Okay. Pressure.
I know, right? All right. So now it's going to be baseball related because, again, that's my jam mostly. All right. So the first player to ever have $1 million contract in the MLB. Happen to know who that might be?
That's tough. Let me think. I mean, I would think it's got to be like someone in the 80s. I don't think they were making. I mean, obviously, Mantle made a lot of money back in the 60s, but
think more recent. Think more recent.
More recent than the 80s. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say probably maybe early 90s. I think
early 90s.
If I'm recalling correctly. And you correct me if I'm wrong once I tell you what the answer is.
I'll go Ken Griffey Jr. then if we're going in the early 90s.
Well, according to the Google machine, and now we have to fact check us. So if you guys leave it in the comments, maybe Google's wrong in this one, but it says Nolan Ryan.
Nolan Ryan. All right, that makes sense.
Nolan Ryan. Yeah, I mean, he was a HVAC technician while he was playing Major League Baseball when he was a pro, because he had such like fear of not being good enough. Can you believe that?
Oh yeah. And that was not uncommon back at that time. A lot of like professional athletes had full-time jobs like we do, but that's changed a lot since then.
He was 44 when he did his 7th no-hitter.
Oh yeah, I do play forever. Yeah,
you guys are talking a different language here. What?
No. Yeah.
No.
Well, it's good because it kind of showcases that it's never too late, right? So if you're coming to reselling later in life and you think it's too late, no, just think about Nolan Ryan, man, with the no-hitter, right? It's a good analogy. So, absolutely. All right, we got a few more here, okay? Before we get to the next icebreaker question, I want to ask you a question about Bo Jackson. How many bats do you think Bo Jackson broke over his career?
I mean, I know he'd slam him over.
I don't know the answer. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna guess he didn't break a ton, but I mean, he did it. He broke some over his own leg, but I threw 12 out there. I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
exactly what the answer is, but being
Yeah.
frustrated was the reason that he recalls in one of the most recent podcasts he did with Shaq and a few others. He said that it was out of pure frustration and not doing his job.
Oh, yeah.
And how that relates to reselling is just like, we get frustrated all the time with how things are slowly moving sometimes. And it's important to continually show up. And Bo Jackson did it, and he had a hell of a career by continuing to show up, even though he was frustrated in the moment. So,
Bob, are you saying we should be smashing our boxes or what?
I mean, if you have a bat, I wouldn't look the other way if you did. I mean,
Yeah. I don't think many of us could do what he did, break it in half over our leg. That's a tough
Is
ask.
that back when bats were wooden?
well, I think they still are, right?
They're still wooden, but yeah. But still, it's not an easy feat.
Speaking of smashing things, make sure you smash that subscribe and like button, because there's like 5,000 people that watch this thing every week, and we have like 690 subs.
Why'd
on
you
the
put it
channel.
up? Isn't the subscribe button like down there somewhere? Okay.
Yes.
So make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're liking and subscribing, because that's
Absolutely.
super important to keep this channel moving and going and all the things. So, and then okay, this next icebreaker question. All right, this one might be a tough one. This is before, I think, both of our times. Actually, it might have been when we kind of were first born, circa 70s. Think. Okay.
Mhm.
This next one is, they call them Mr. October.
All right. Yeah. I know
Who
this
is
one.
this player?
That'd be Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson. Yep.
And for bonus, why did they call him Mr. October?
He came on in the prime, like the World Series. That was his time to shine. I mean, he had the record for home runs in a World Series for a long time. I don't know if he still does, but
yeah. He was clutch, man. And that's important to remember that, at the soon as you're ready to break through in anything in life, usually right at the end there is where you get most movement. So if things are getting tough for you, just know that, right at that crucial moment, be like Mr. October. All right, got one more for you. All right. This one is a personal favorite of mine. I'm a Red Sox fan. I know they're not doing well this year, and breaks my heart. I almost wore my Red Sox hat in shame, but I was just like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not getting any love to those guys this year. But all right, so this is a Red Sox player. They call him Mr. 300. Mr. 300.
I mean, that would be Ted Williams, right? The Splendid Splinter. Is that not?
No.
I never heard that nickname for him. So Mr. 300. So I don't know. Maybe more modern than maybe Wade Boggs. I don't know.
Wade Boggs. There it is.
Is it Wade? Okay. All right.
Wade Boggs. Yeah, Mr. 300. He actually had a lifetime batting average, I think, of like 318 or some 328 or something like that. Don't come at me at the comments. I'm not a sports guy, remember.
Maybe Ted Williams is Mr. 400, maybe, because I know there's a 400.
I think he actually still holds the record for, I think he had like 3,000 something runs batted in. I forget what it is, but it's like an incredibly uncommon number. Like, he was just an excellent player. And so that's all of our icebreakers. Appreciate you participating in that. And just remember that all things are related in general. And sports, reselling, it's all related.
Absolutely. So,
I appreciate you doing that. So sports, vintage, sport flips. I always want to say sports, and maybe that's intentional.
It's not. I mean, my wife still, when I say the name, she's like, why didn't you not put the S on the end of sports? I felt it was weird, like double plural in the end of it. But now Dan and Demand, he's monikered the sport flips no S. So that's sort of taken off a little bit. Thanks to Dan. Dan
is an awesome cheerleader for a lot of resellers.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about how you came to reselling, and now that we're all warmed up, and we'd love to hear about exactly how you came to that, maybe what you're doing, your part-time, so what you're doing and your full-time and all the things.
Sure. So, I mean, they sort of intersect a little bit, my career and my reselling. So when I was in college, namely when I was in vet school, I'm a full-time veterinarian, small animal veterinarian. And when I was in vet school, me and a buddy, we would start going to auctions, and eBay was like around it, but it just had come. This was like 90, 99, 2000. It's probably about when it was starting, or at least really taking off. So I know when I would be in the library, instead of studying, I'd be on the computer on eBay, like searching what's selling, and we would start to go to auctions. And I'm a collector too. I'm a huge Philadelphia Eagles collector. So I started to like buy like lots of items from, live in-person auction houses. And then my goal was to sell this non-Eagle stuff and then keep the stuff from my collection. And then as I did that, I really built a massive collection, which I still have. But I also realized that, this is more than just a hobby and more than just a way to build my collection. And I made it like a big, I spend more time doing reselling now than I do my full-time job. And the income is similar, even though it's a part-time thing. So I that's where it took off from, initially to build my collection, but then over the years, sell on eBay, Etsy, in person. I sell at the National Sports Collectors Convention, and a bunch of local shows. So I sell it sort of every way you could potentially sell. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Well, I will say that something about where you are in the world. Would you consider yourself a New Englander?
I don't think so. No. Maybe Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, maybe you would call it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just curious how people from Philadelphia, because it is a Constitution state, right?
Yeah.
So I always wondered how they consider themselves, because I'm originally from Connecticut is why I'm asking. And you recently found something in one of your latest videos that kind of intrigued me.
Oh, yeah.
We were watching about Norwich. You found a University of Norwich book.
Yeah, scrapbook. Yeah,
scrapbook. Tell us about that pick. I mean, that was pretty fantastic. You get it for a steal too.
Oh, $10. Yeah. I well, first, that's the kind of thing I love to buy. And I've bought those for years on eBay. I would buy them on eBay, piece them out, take out ticket stubs and piece them out. And I'm more of a flea market buyer typically on my channel, like first person videos at flea markets, because the art sales, I often don't find the kind of stuff that I want to sell. I don't sell like household goods and that kind of stuff, but at least for the most part. But this was a rare sale for me where I stumbled on it, and there was a scrapbook it dated from 1919 to like 1923.
Crazy. And
yeah, it was wild. And I loved, they're like time capsules. If you ever pick one of those up, I mean, photos and tickets, and there's a raisin box for some reason the person put in the scrapbook, and all kind of random stuff. And people will probably think that was staged, the scrapbook, because if you watch the video, I'm going through it, and I'm like, I was saying, because I know it was up in New England, and I found scrapbooks before where a college student would go to a baseball game, so there happens to be a Yankees ticket in there, so I was mentioning that I love to find some 1919 Red Sox items in here, and then lo and behold, I find a postcard at the end of the book with Babe Ruth in it. So yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, it was sort of called my shot with that one, Babe Ruth style, right? But yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, that speaking of that postcard, at the end of that video, a lot of people probably didn't. I don't know if they stuck around to the end, but I watched
the long one.
Yeah, it's a long one, and I watched the whole thing because I was intrigued. You had me hooked when you picked up that book. So at the end of that video, you show the comps or what actually it sold for, I think. Why don't you tell the audience what that one postcard sold for?
Well, yeah, the comp that I popped up was my listing. It didn't sell yet.
It didn't sell yet. Okay.
No, that was like some of the items show is sold, some show is listed, but that scrapbook not scrapbook. That postcard is sold for $600 to $1,200 in the past. So it's a nice little find. Yeah, I think I listed mine for $450. What's that?
What would you give the value of that whole scrapbook? Are you piecing it out, or?
I probably will piece it out just because it had some damage. If it was like immaculate, I'm pretty good and adept at removing things from scrapbooks. But so this one I don't feel as bad about taking things apart because it is damaged. Yeah. But I would say piecing it out probably $2,000 would be my guess. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
$10 into $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice.
I would say that's probably clip worthy for the podcast.
Yeah,
for sure. Because I mean, we don't sell sports. Well, I should say I get plush sometimes. We're niche down in plush, and I Kelly's plush and toys mostly. She does sell a few other things.
I just sold a football helmet, Bob.
Yeah, I was going to ask. like, so Ellie picked up recently. Not well, sort of recently. We were at the actually bins together when you found that football helmet. Tell them about the helmet you found, Ellie.
Yeah, it's a replica like Rydell. It was Vikings Salute to the Army football helmet.
Ah, very cool.
It was in like the velvet bag, and I didn't know what it was. I just grabbed it because I was like, maybe there's something cool in here. You know, you never know what you find in the bags at the bins. So I grabbed it, and somebody else had already grabbed like 5 of them, and he seemed irritated.
He was extremely mad.
And so I grabbed it, and I'm looking, I'm like, oh, this is a football helmet. It's a Vikings helmet. I'm going to take it. Shoot. I probably paid $5 for it. Sold it for $180. I don't know if
that's
higher
awesome.
low, full size. So, but,
Yeah, that's great. Anything probably in the bins, if you find a velvet bag, you're probably snagging that, right?
Yeah.
You don't put low end stuff in there, I bet.
Yeah.
That's
But,
fun.
That was a crazy day in the find, and that guy that found those helmets was a little off. Anyways, I think maybe just a hair.
A little unhinged for sure.
It was just a little scary.
With me, I'm like, no, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we find stuff all the time. I just recently found a little those little mini helmets, landed Falcons, brand new in the box. I don't know.
Nice.
I mean, still had the tag on, $32 new, but you know, I do pick up that kind of thing. It's not something I'm chasing, but we do sell a lot of sports plush, I will say.
Okay.
Like Bleacher Creatures, just like old vintage, like obscure stuff, like Pensacola Wahoos. I don't even know what the Pensacola Wahoo is, but apparently it sold today, and it sold for like $25. So it must be like a minor league team or something.
Yeah. I actually sold a vintage sport plus today as well. I think right before we started, a vintage Yuppie Montreal Expo. Their mascot's Yuppie. So I think it sold for $25 as well. So yeah.
So you don't have to be niched down into a particular category to sell the items. Is the narrative there for those who may be new to reselling? We get a lot of new people on this channel because the whole point of this is to help new resellers grow and get knowledge and all the things. We consider ourselves more educational than entertaining, maybe, and we try to be as entertaining as we can too. But so that just goes to show you that you don't put yourself in a box, I think, is what we're trying to say.
And I think for me, I find the most exhilarating and exciting finds for me, when they're outside my niche, outside sports, because then you get to learn about it, right? Like I bought a bunch of antique jewelry in a big yard sale last weekend, and I just digging into that stuff you don't know. I like to learn, and that's fun when you find stuff that you can make money on, but also learn for the next go around. That's always what I love to find.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things about reselling that keeps me in reselling and not bored. You can always learn something new.
Absolutely.
And something about that feeds my ADHD. So I can't get bored of this.
Ellie's been diagnosed. I haven't, but I think we both have the ADD, ADHD. I think it's common. It's very common in reselling. I'm finding like everybody that we have on the podcast has some sort of the DDD LMNOP.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about resellers. Maybe it's our maybe that's what makes us great at reselling, because we've had a lot of success. And let's talk about some of this success that you've had over the past couple of years. When you first started, what did that look like for you? A lot of success right out of the gate, or did it take a lot of grinding? Or
definitely grinding, because I think a lot of in my category and when I like to resell, a lot of the value of what I find is because of knowledge. Like I'll know like this baseball glove is a rare style 1910 glove, or this bat or this football helmet. So some of the most expensive items I've sold, 4-figure items over the years, 5 figures. When I first started, I wouldn't even know what they were. But because I went to auctions and I studied auction catalogs for years, and you learn through auction catalogs. So I've really, and to the point where I've actually consulted with NFL Films and the NBA once for helping them determine the age of things for their videos. So that over the years I've built that knowledge base, which helps me immensely as a picker. So I didn't really have that in the beginning. I was just buying what I thought was cool, and often I made money on most of it. But you build your knowledge base, and with that, you're a better picker as you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it helps you have a love for sports to begin with, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
You said that you started doing auctions. Is that what you said? Around 99. So at what point did you go from just picking up stuff for your own collection to, hey, I can sell this stuff too?
I think probably, a month in, to be honest, as I was buying for my collection, because as you're a student, you don't have much money to be buying stuff for a collection, right? So that's how I was building it by buying. So it was like they were hand in hand with each other. But then that grew. For a long time, I would not sell on eBay. I occasionally run auctions on eBay, but I would source on eBay and then sell it at in-person shows or on Etsy. And that's you really can't survive or can't thrive. I think the way I wanted to thrive as a reseller by doing that. So, which that didn't really pertain to your question, but I think they were intertwined. Yeah.
That's important context, because if you want to have your reselling fuel your collection, which this is all personal collection back here. It's hard not to be a collector when you are, especially when you're niche down, I think more so. Yeah. When you're everything collector, maybe it's a little bit easier not to collect. I'm not sure. Yeah. But I would assume that helps with the cost of creating something that's, one, you enjoy, and two, maybe resell value someday later on down the road.
Absolutely. So, yeah. It's a nice little nest egg for sure.
So let's rewind a bit. What's that first phone call like from someone, like a movie, or what is that? Is that like are you like punking me, or walk us through that? Because I can imagine it's like, hello? No, really not. Lucasfilms, get out of here. No,
nothing that big, obviously, but it was exciting. Yeah, I've worked with both some television shows, like renting items to television shows or selling them outright to television shows. Broadway is bought, because I saw a lot in antique shops as well, so I've a lot of bulk of items. I know one Broadway show bought like 50 vintage baseball bats from me. So I've done that, but I think the NFL Films was the most exciting, because I went. They gave me a tour of the facility. I met with the executive producer, and it was a pretty neat experience. But I think I'm sure other resellers have dealt with, probably all resellers have dealt with like shows, television shows, and Broadway, but maybe they purchase on eBay and just get shipped off to a random office in Hollywood somewhere. But it's pretty cool when you get that hands-on experience. Probably the coolest one, NFL Films, they were doing a special with Bill Clinton and Peyton Manning, and they were going to have them have a catch. They were at West Point. I actually never saw the show, but they wanted to throw an old melon football. And I didn't have one. I had sold the melon football I had, which is like an 1890, 1900 football. So I reached out to a buddy. He overnighted one of his to me, and I hand delivered it to NFL Films. Within like 6 hours of me giving it to them, Bill Clinton and Peyton Manning were having a catch with that ball on film. So that was pretty cool. That that the turnaround time on that one was wild.
Yeah, that must help your buddies like resell value for that ball, because now there's provenance, right?
Yep, absolutely. I told him that. Yeah, I'm like, check out the show, because that's going to help your value there. Yep.
So mostly catalogs, I would assume, is what you kind of determine provenance, or whether or not something's authentic. You've built a name for yourself in the sports industry.
Yeah.
Initially, is it just the research that helps with that, or is there like a break? Like, was there a moment like where something broke through for you that helped with that?
No, just very slow and slow learning as I went. I had a library, and I actually recently sold that library of like catalogs going back to 1894 through the 40s, like of all different types of equipment, so I could like date it. But that was, now that I feel like I just know, I don't need that information at my fingertips anymore. So but no, it's out there. It's out there on, like, the Library of Congress has a lot of like documents you can find too that you don't necessarily have to own them in hand anymore.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, for grading purposes, for those that are probably just breaking their teeth into the
Mhm.
card industry and things like that, what would you recommend for someone that's new to that type of thing to get things graded? Who would you put your trust in when you initially start out? Like, what does that look like?
That's a good question. Right now, that's a very timely thing because there's a lot of tumult in the grading industry, and actually, I deal in cards, but my first love is memorabilia. Even though this is some of my card collection here, but PSA is like sort of shut down, and they're not grading currently. I think for several months into 2027.
Oh,
So
wow.
your options are limited on who you could go with. There's a lot of like what I would tell new people if you wanted to get into grading, either grading yourself or buying graded cards. I would avoid some of the any mom and pop shop, and there's a lot of them out there, can have grading companies, and that slab really doesn't have any value over a raw card, and probably almost devalues it to have like a random company grading it. But there are some companies that are still grading because PSA shut down. Like I think the one I would go with is CGC. They have more of like a comic book history. They're big in that industry, but I've graded a lot of things with them, quicker turnaround times, and they still have very good resale value. So that's what I would be using personally, because cheaper, quicker turnaround times, and PSA is just a nightmare right now. With it'll take you a year to get your stuff back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is the juice worth the squeeze when it comes to grading?
I don't think so. I mean, I sell a lot of cards, and I'll buy them graded and sell them graded, but I would never, maybe not, I wouldn't say I would never, but I will sell raw before I want to take the time to invest in letting it sit there in a grading company for months. I prefer to sell it raw. So ungraded what raw means. So yeah, I don't think so. I wouldn't be afraid to sell something, especially a high value card, because eBay has the authentication program. So that helps for people that only wanted to buy a graded card because they know it's authentic. I mean, eBay is going to verify that for the buyer. So that makes it easier to sell higher end raw cards now than it used to be.
Are they like how does that work with eBay authentication? Because I've never really sold anything that technically had to be authenticated. Most of what we sell is probably within a price range of $25 to $40, and we sell a lot of it. But just curious, what's that look like for eBay? Someone that might be new to it.
So it doesn't really look like much to the seller. I mean, because I get I just sold a $700 card yesterday that goes directly to eBay, but you wouldn't really know that unless you know it, right? The address just probably looks more like an international shipping address, like the global shipping network stuff. So it goes to them. They verify it. They forward on to the buyer. So it's a pretty seamless process. Although the shipping takes a little bit longer, pretty seamless.
Similar to the shoe authentication and like handbags, that kind of thing, right?
Absolutely.
Doesn't Whatnot have something too? Does Whatnot grade? I know nothing about sports cards or grading or any of that. But I thought
I'm not aware of that. Maybe they do. I'm a Whatnot seller, but I haven't sold for a while on Whatnot. So I'm not aware of that, but that's pretty cool if they do have some sort of authentication.
I could be completely wrong. I feel like I remember somebody asking it to be graded, and I was like, oh, they do that. I didn't know.
Oh, well, maybe there may be some Whatnot sellers that like will offer grading as part of they'll send it to the grader for you potentially. Maybe there's something like that out there. Yeah, okay. That's a possibility.
So I stay away from
go ahead,
altogether. No, I was just saying I stay away from cards altogether. How do you? I guess it's just your knowledge, right? Because when I Google image cards, the comps are all over the place. How do you know what's how do you know it's real besides just knowing?
Thankfully, I mean, I don't deal with I can for vintage cards, you can generally tell if they're real. I mean, some of the tobacco cards, there are some like fakes out there, but they're pretty easy to tell. So that does come with experience, but I don't think I've ever owned or accidentally bought a fake card. Autographs, that's a different story. Autographs are an animal that's tough. And I've bought a massive collection of autographs, but that's not an area special to me either. That I love memorabilia because it's unique, one of one, maybe not one of one, but one of a lot less than what cards are.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that's what I like. That's why I like to focus on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we recently had Tim from Over the Years Reselling. He's another sports enthusiast and glass collector, which shocked me. You wouldn't expect that out of Tim. He's a ball of energy for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he was talking to, and I think you had somebody on one of the podcasts or reselling channels about sending off cards to get them signed. I forget what it was called. Can you talk
Through the
about
mail,
that
TTM.
TTM,
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit and what that looks like if someone maybe not familiar and maybe they might be interested in using that as a lever for the reselling business?
Yeah, I mean, I did that as a kid, and what that entails is you take a card, or you can take whatever you want to take, but usually people are taking a card. You send maybe a handwritten letter, and I did that as a kid to like athletes that I wanted to get things signed for. Send them a letter, send them the card, send them a self-addressed stamped envelope, and then mail it off. And there's Facebook groups, there's online forums that will give you the address. And some athletes like charge a fee. I would say the most don't, but some charge a fee and maybe for their charity. I know Tim Over the Year Sports, he had on his podcast, No Banger Sports Card Podcast, a card seller, Boston card hunter, who built like an 86 Fleer set almost entirely through the mail, autographed. That's incredible. Yeah. So I wanted to get back into that. I did it as a kid. There's a lot of YouTubers who do nothing but that for content. I think it's a pretty cool thing, but yeah, if you have a bunch of cards laying around and for the investment and maybe a couple stamps, you could get a little more value on them potentially.
Yeah. So all those. Go ahead, Lau. Good.
What is Fleer? What is that?
Fleer?
For those of uneducated people like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's one of the makers. So the three main card makers back in the day: Fleer, Topps, Don Russ. But Fleer and Topps for basketball back in the 80s. So that's one of the makers. I don't know when probably in the 90s, late 90s, they were phased out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I found Fleer like Marvel cards, I think, in the dumpster one time.
Oh wow, there you go. That's a good price point. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was listing them for $3 to $5, and they were selling.
Free 99.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love free 99.
I remember that name. That's what I was asking. So
yeah,
let's talk about TCG for a minute because I mean, games and card games and stuff like that. Do you mess with that at all, or is it just strictly sports or like garbage pail kids maybe or something like?
Yeah, I've definitely sold garbage pail kids. I'll open some like there's some vintage garbage pail kids on that little frame over here.
Yeah, I was noticing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So those are unopened packs, but I open that stuff for my channel and I'll sell some of it, but I don't do a ton with non-sport cards, a little bit, but I don't know anything about Pokemon or Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh. I've sold them in bulk on Dibdit a little bit. I sold a lot last week, but admittedly, I don't know a ton about it.
What's your handle on Dibdit? Is it the same?
Yep. Same thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Is there like a code that you want to drop so people can get some money back if they?
Yeah. If you're not signed up for Dibdit, code Sport Flips over on no Sport Flips with no S on the end of sports. So yeah, that you can use that. I think you get $5 or $10 free to spend over there. Yeah. And there's for a reseller. If you're a new reseller, you don't have to go to yard sales or flea markets or auctions. You could just sit on Dibdit and get deals and they get it shipped to you. Because I unfortunately I have a massive amount of death pile and inventory I could sell forever. And I shouldn't be buying on Dibdit, and I don't buy much on there for that reason. But I sort of wish I could, 'cause seeing the deals, you're like quadrupling or more on a lot of things selling.
Yeah, that's a good point. Online reselling and live reselling has really changed the game for a lot of people. And I know you mentioned Whatnot, and now you just mentioned Dibdit. What is your perspective from like a sports point of view, like collectible point of view? We've had a lot of people talk about home decor. We had people talk about toys. What do you think I know there's Fanatics. There's a lot of different things that right now going on. Yeah. What do you think that looks like for the future of sports?
I think definitely for cards, it's a great a great opportunity for live selling because you can sell like, lower end cards and move through bulk. And especially if you buy into a collection, right? I mean, you can maybe cherry pick some stuff and sell the rest. And I've sold a ton of memorabilia on Whatnot and did it and didthecards.com. So there's definitely an avenue for it. I mean, you're generally when you're live selling, you're not getting top dollar. And occasionally things go for what they're worth or more even, but most of the time the buyer, if they're not a collector, has a lot of room to make money and flip it. But I've bought into massive collections well enough that I'm happy to give those deals because relieving space and moving bulk is always a nice thing with live selling. So if you're buying clean outs or buying massive collections and you're not looking to live sell, you're missing that opportunity because that's how you can move a lot. On Whatnot, I was downsizing my warehouse and I had Paul the Philly Flipper come sell in my warehouse for 5 days. You should see the amount of stuff that he moved in my warehouse 5 days. I mean, hours and hours of shipping every night to like get that stuff cleared out. So you can make a major dent in the death pile by live selling.
That's
it's amazing. It's amazing the live selling how and it's still early too. If you think you're too late to live selling, think again, my friend, because it's growing in the United States. It's huge overseas, and I'm surprised it's taking so long, honestly, to catch fire here in the States because that's normally not the case. For us, we usually get in line really quickly when there's a trend or a fad. So TikTok shop, things like that. I mean, do you do that type of thing, TikTok live, or are you like selling on shops like that?
No, I've not really. No, I've done a little bit on TikTok with like, if I'm opening a vintage pack, I'll like link to somebody selling vintage packs on there and actually made a little bit of money doing that, but I've never tried to sell myself. I think that sell my own products. I could say. I've never tried that, but I'm sure if you have a following on TikTok, that's awesome. I'll also a little bit on Instagram, not necessarily through live, but just through a story. And that's a really, if you can build up social media, you don't even need sometimes to go to the route of eBay. You can just post it to your followers and sell stuff that way.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Social media has definitely changed the game in reselling for sure. Yep. And I know that you're on a few different social media streams. Why don't we shout them out real quick because I can't remember them all. So I know there's pastime picks on your Vintage Sport Flips channel. You do pastime picks. And who do you have? You do that with another co-host, right? Yeah.
So a guy I grew up with, Andy, the King of Pennants, is his moniker on YouTube. We do that every Wednesday night. It's a live Wednesday nights. We talk about reselling. We have some like segments in there that we have a price guessing game and different things we do. But we also draft like pop culture or sports topics. Have some fun with it. It's a live chat. We do a running giveaway every 3 months. So it's a cool time. That's on my main channel, Vintage Sport Flips, which is on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, even Pinterest, or not Pinterest. What's the Twitch? Even Twitch. Well, I think I have 2 followers on there.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's growing.
Somewhere, Keith.
Yeah. And then my other YouTube channel, which is a card channel and a little bit of a beer tasting channel, Rips and Brews on YouTube as well. And then my podcast you had a previous guest, I think your second guest, you told me, Bob, which is Jimmy Old School Flips, the Buy It All podcast, which comes out on Mondays.
Yeah, Mondays. One of my favorite podcasts besides this one to watch.
Thank you.
I watch myself back, but
yeah,
Buy It All podcast. I love how you guys are just cutting it up and having a good time. And, Ray is absolutely hilarious once he gets going.
Oh, yeah.
So between the 3 of you, I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm like, wait, are we talking about reselling or are we just hanging out and having fun? But I think I love that type of vibe personally. That's what keeps me coming back is how funny you guys are together. It's almost like you're the straight man over there.
Oh, really? All right.
That's how I see it sometimes. It's just like, if it wasn't for Keith, this thing would be off the rails.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Keep them in line.
Yeah, no, it's fun. Yeah. It's a fun time. I've known Jimmy. I've met Jimmy in the past. I didn't know Ray I think I met him when we recorded our, like, we did like a little meet and greet on StreamYard, but it's a great chemistry, and it just really hit off a lot. And there's a lot of like banter back and forth between us and the reseller leftovers, a little bit of like a rivalry. So it's always fun to play off of each other's podcast as well.
Yeah.
We're fairly new to the podcasting game, and we've been doing this since January. And before that, I was part of We Don't Give a Flip podcast.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if you remember that one, but
yeah,
that one kind of fizzled out. But commitments to other real life things came up. But fortunately, we kind of pivoted, and we're able to do this podcast too. So always a big fan of podcasts in general. So you can find a good vibe with people, and then talk about similar like-minded things. I mean, I think that just makes you stronger as a reseller.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've learned a ton, both from, I was on the Reseller Island podcast previously with J Ride Flips and Soda City Flips, and that was great, and a different style show, but I learned a lot from those guys, and from Jimmy and Ray too, just talking and having fun. I mean, I've did some different things for my eBay store just through our fun conversations over there. So it's and watching other people too on, not that when I'm not on the show, but you learn a lot.
Definitely.
Yeah, which is part of the reason why we love having guests on Launchpad Reseller Podcast, because it opens our minds to the possibility of new things. Like, I've learned a ton already, like for grading and purposes, who not to go to, who possibly to lean on for that, and other things along the way, which is fantastic for us, because I mean, we do come across items all the time that might be have more value than we think they have. So having contacts, having networks in place definitely helps in reselling for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I live under a rock, so I really enjoy getting to know all. Like, I feel like I'm branching out and learning all about different, people in different categories, who's who, and I'm like, wow, I really don't know much, but I enjoy it, networking and getting to know new people. So
yeah, me too. Having a full-time job, you can't watch everything, right? There's only so much time in the day, and so yeah, I watch a lot of podcasts. But you can't see everything, so it's fun to get different opinions and sort of bounce ideas back and forth.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of podcasts, this podcast is now being broadcast through Spotify, Apple,
cool.
Amazon, just to name a few. We just recently tied on to Apple and Amazon. So if you're listening along, make sure that you're going to your favorite podcasting and look up Launchpad Reseller Podcast. And also you can catch season 1, season 2. And then for Flipside, season 1 of the Flipside is now broadcasting through all of those channels as well now, because we've just had our first episode, our inaugural. So awesome. We got into it, man. We got into it about shipping, like the price of shipping right now.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a challenge. Yeah.
How's Vintage Sport Flips handling shipping right now? Because gas prices are crazy, man.
Yeah, I so thankfully on eBay I have like shipping profile set, because I never did before, but with List Easier, which I use to do some AI listing, that sort of forced me to do shipping profiles, or is that what it's called? Shipping profiles or shipping whatever it is. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Profiles, y'all. Get in it.
Maybe it was it. Yeah. So that at least now I could like change I sell a ton of pennants, like felt banners, pennants, and I can change the shipping price. I bumped it up like 50 cents for all 2,000 pennants I have listed. On Etsy, though, on the other hand, I got to start wrestling with that, because I offer free shipping there, which is the shipping is built into the price of the item. Mm-hmm. Now that's so every little increase is eating away that. So I gotta manually bump up everything a little bit. It's my project.
How long have you been selling on Etsy?
How long?
Yeah,
I would say between 8 and 10 years. I forget the exact number of years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And I found a good niche over there, because when I sell sports memorabilia primarily, there wasn't a whole lot of competition there. It's a lot of crafters and jewelry and handmade items and antiques, but there wasn't a lot of what I sell. So I think I got in sort of early with it and have done really well with it. And back then, initially I would buy stuff on eBay just to flip it on Etsy. That was like my business model. But now I keep it all separate. I list I don't cross list, but I know what I'll sell better on one platform versus the other.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Etsy's strong for sure.
I can't say enough about Etsy, how it's changed our business tremendously. It's probably helped us triple our revenue
Nice.
in the short time we've been reselling it. I think this October we'll be reselling for 4 years.
Okay.
So yeah, we haven't been reselling very long, but we've had a lot of success right away. We were early adopters to cross listing pretty much as soon as we came out the gate. Once I realized that you can actually, this thing would sell.
Yeah.
I started off on Macari and I was just like, cha-ching, cha-ching. And then, that first month we made like $20,000 on Macari. This is when Macari was good, y'all. That first month it was like 20 grand. I was just like, what is going on? And it was fourth quarter in my defense, and we sell toys, so it wasn't too far of a stretch, I guess, maybe.
Right.
But and that was 2022. Etsy was actually good, y'all. In 2022, or not Etsy, sorry, Macari. So yeah, once we had that, fast forward to July, I think is when I pulled the pin on eBay and got an eBay store, because we weren't originally on eBay. I was scared to death of eBay because of the shipping. I was one of those. And looking back on that guy, I was just like, man, I should have really thought about doing it sooner, because as soon as we pulled the pin on eBay and got that up and running, it was just gangbusters, man. My wife went full time. It just was like, it just grew legs and just ran. So I want to encourage people that are scared out there of maybe going to eBay. Just do it. I mean, get yourself a store and just hammer that nail. Go past 250. I'm a big believer in volume reselling. Mm-hmm. Some people aren't. I don't know how you feel about volume reselling as a business model. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on volume resellers? And are you a volume reseller, or you consider yourself a smaller?
No, I think I'm definitely a volume reseller, and I love it. I mean, I obviously everybody loves to sell that $500 item or $1,000 item, which I do sell often, but those $10, $15, $25 items add up. And as long as, for me, if they're easy to ship, easy to photograph, and now everything is pretty much easy to list with AI. I think I've bumped up. My store was usually running around 4,000 items on my one eBay store. I bumped it to 5,000 now, just with AI listing and really grinding. And obviously the sales have reaped the rewards of that kind of work. So I'm all about volume for sure.
Yeah, I think eBay just announced that 50%, they have an increase of 50% of listings due to AI. So now you don't have to necessarily kind of know what you're doing, but you should really fact check AI. As a software engineer who resells, who's worked on large language models and AI as my job, I'm going to tell you right now, fact check your AI. Don't just solely, think that guy's right because it can run with scissors and stab itself. Make sure you're checking. And I'm all about making convenience and AI and all the things, but yeah, definitely, because it has tripled our business too. Again, like we're just kind of just doing all these things right at the right time. And I want to encourage people to not only think about some sort of AI. I know you use List Easier, is it?
Yep.
What's your code for List Easier so your following can?
Yeah, I use code Commonwealth, not my code, but Kevin the Commonwealth Picker. So I don't have a code. So let's give Kevin the code there.
We love Kevin, man. We're big fans.
Yeah,
we met him in Nashville. Yeah, we met him in Nashville. A super nice guy. Code Commonwealth, List Easier. Shout out Kevin. We love you, bud. So if you ever want to come on here, feel free. I don't know if he's too busy to do this type of thing, but I'm sure. I'm sure he's too busy for this. But if you're not, feel free. But yeah, we use Nifty.ai, and speaking of Nifty, they're actually the sponsors of today's video. Can you believe it? Nifty.ai, code Rocket City saves you 15% off your first month. Feel free to use it for cross listing, for generative AI and creating listings, for inventory control, for expenses and profit and loss statements, analytics, real time, analytics into your business. Like I said, I'm a software engineer. I've used a lot of things. I've never used List Easier though. So I challenge List Easier. If you're listening, send me a message and I'll be happy to try you out too. And I'll give you my honest feedback from my perspective as a software engineer. But remember one thing, podcasts aren't free. So List Easier. Commonwealth.
Yeah, there we go.
Rocket City. Code Rocket City. Nifty.
Yeah.
Shout out to us all.
Don't forget to smash that subscribe button right now.
Yeah, right. Subscribe.
Absolutely.
So so thank you for taking the time for us to do that, Keith. We appreciate
Sure.
you being a reseller's reseller. So usually this time of the podcast, we do a thing where we ask our guests to shout someone out that they would like to see on Launchpad Reseller Podcast. So I'm going to do it official. Vintage Sports Flips. Who would you like to see on Launchpad Reseller Podcast?
Well, I mean, I got to look back at your guest log and see who you've had. So I might be naming people who've already been on here. But
Just
I
do
feel
it.
like, yeah, I'll do it. I think this guy might hold a record for podcasts he's been on, and nobody dislikes this guy, beloved character. We mentioned him earlier, Dan in Demand. Has Dan in Demand been on yet?
No.
Dan in Demand has not been on. So, we'll do it official. Dan in Demand, you've been called out on Launchpad Reseller Podcast. What say you? All right. And then backups. Who would you, I mean, now let's go outside the box, right? Let's go maybe YouTuber, someone that you maybe consume in your own personal, like when you're just kind of hanging out at the shop, you're looking at a small creature, maybe you got a earbud in your ear. Who are you listening to?
Oh, okay. So outside who do I listen to podcaster wise?
Yeah, I mean, let's go outside. Like, who we don't necessarily. They have to obviously be a reseller, right?
Yeah.
But is there anybody else that you're kind of like locked in on, or?
Yeah, I'll give you a guy that I buy. He's been in a lot of my videos because I buy a lot from him. But he's been a reseller longer than me, and I've been doing it 20 years. Not a YouTuber at all, but a huge eBay seller. The guy's name is Bob McCann Enterprises. He was selling before eBay, and I remember I bought from him back in like the 90s. He would send like a mailer out, like a newsletter. You just like you get it in the mail, and you send him an email, or not an email. You send him an envelope, or you call him and say, "I want that." So he was doing it long before like the internet was a thing. And he's still doing it. He's a big eBay seller now. So it would be interesting I talked about interviewing him on my channel, but I don't think he's ever been on a YouTube channel other than when I'm buying from him. So he has a wealth of knowledge and dating back to any of us doing it.
Wow.
Maybe we could do a collab between channels and interview him.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That'd be super nice. Just kind of do a reseller thing and just kind of see what it was like in the early days of reselling, because I think it's important to remember where we've come from, not just where we are currently, because history has a really important play in everything, because you can start seeing like patterns. Because again, I'm the data guy. I look at, the past, the present, and predict the future. That's what I do. I get paid pretty good to do that. So I love that idea of going back through the past and kind of just seeing what's worked, what hasn't, what's changed, what's not, because a lot of times it's just the same idea spun differently.
Yep.
A little bit of a history behind reselling, talking about like pre-eBay. I don't think we've gone that far back, Bob.
I don't think so, but I would have a car salesman on this podcast, quite honestly.
Hey.
I would have a real estate agent. They're no different in my mind. Selling a house, selling a car, selling sports cards, selling, I don't care what you're selling. We all have, we're a very tangible, I guess, creature, humans.
Yeah.
We've been buying and selling things since there's been humans. So, I think there's room in reselling for everybody at the table. And I like to get different perspectives, because that's when you truly learn and you find out what's been working for them, regardless of, genre or what you've been selling. I was speaking to a guy I bought a car from here in locally in town, and I learned a lot from him about just customer service and reselling and things like that I've applied to our own business. So
smart.
It's value is value, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Speaking of value, Keith, what's the greatest thing that you've ever flipped value-wise? Like you paid so little for, and you got so much for it.
Yeah, I want to hear this. You said 5 figures, I think.
Yeah, I sold an item this year that I paid a lot for, and this was my son's going into college soon, and I pulled a piece out of my personal collection because I knew these college bills were coming up, and it was a piece I showed on the Commonwealth Collections, Kevin's channel, when we did a top 10 bobblehead video.
Sweet.
I had a rare Eagles bobblehead that I bought. It was like a holy grail that I was looking for like a decade, found it. I paid $9,000 for it. A lot of money, right? Wife was not too happy with me with that purchase. But then when I knew I had a lot of college tuition coming up, I knew somebody who wanted it. I flipped it and I sold that for $42,000 last year.
Good gravy.
So, yeah. So that was the biggest like dollar flip. It wasn't like I never bought it with the intention of flipping it, but like I said, those kind of collections are a nest egg that if you ever need some cash, you have that collection to go back at and come up with. But that's the biggest like profit on an item that I've ever sold.
So that was a personal, like you knew who you sold it to, you didn't have to pay $40,000 in eBay fees or anything.
Yeah, it was a private private buyer. Yeah. I would have been very nervous to ship it because this was like, it's an oversized. It was like 15 inches tall, so it's it would have been fragile. Yeah, I met him in person and we did that transaction. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. And the things that we do for our children, right? My son's off to the University of Alabama. We just actually did our orientation. He's actually headed off there in the fall. So where's your boy going off to? Does he know yet?
Delaware, University of Delaware.
Yeah, it's a good school.
Yeah.
Any idea what he wants to do yet?
He wants to be in medicine as well. Yeah, okay. So that's exciting times. Yeah. It's funny though, when I bought that bobblehead, we lost power like a week after we bought the bobblehead, and I remember this was a long time ago. He was yelling at me, "We could have bought a generator instead. You bought a bobblehead." So I still remember that. That was a pretty funny thing he said to me back then. I did end up buying a generator, but not as nice as one as the bobblehead was.
What year? Yeah. What year was that, Keith?
Probably like 8 years ago. 8 years, maybe. Yeah, I made about a decade. I had it, so a little under, I think.
So he's about 9 or 10, maybe.
Yeah. If you can't play video games, not being able to play video games is a lot worse than,
Listen, that Fortnite slaps, man.
Oh yeah. I play Fortnite. It's been a while. But yeah.
It's a vibe.
Man, kids have no filter.
Yeah, absolutely.
8 and 9 years old. So I have 4. Wow. But 2 of them are right at that age, 8 and 9.
Yeah, that's a fun age. Yeah.
No filter.
No, they're good boys though. Ellie has 4 children and she also resells full time. She thinks she's a part-time, but she's got a full-time inventory and she's a full-time mom and full-time reseller. She does all the things. So we're lucky to have her on the podcast because she's a busy lady, man.
Oh, I'm sure. That keeps you on your toes.
Sometimes I don't feel like I'm a reseller at all, but I've got a death pile to prove it. So
yeah.
My thing is if you're listing, are you a hoarder? I don't think so.
No,
as long as you're listing something. If you list at least once a week, then you're good. You're golden.
I'm good.
Yeah, I bought from hoarders, and I think a hoarder doesn't want to sell anything, right? Like anything in my death pile, you can come buy. Come tomorrow, you can come get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're not willing to sell it and you're holding it for a rainy day, you're getting out of the.
It's more about time for me. I have my youngest is 3, and so I think I am just passing the phase where, like, I can, she takes up a lot of my attention. The older can kind of hang out on their own. They don't have to be stuck to my side all the time. So, it's just been about time, I think.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine doing it with a 3-year-old. I mean, just because you always have to have your eye on them every second, right? You can't be on your phone editing photos. And who knows what they're up to? That's the 10 seconds.
No, if I ever hear silence, I'm scared. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There's too many toys in Ellie's house that I would assume that they're just playing with toys at this point.
That's true. That's an advantage. I have, my 8 and 9-year-olds. I'm glad that they still play with their toys and action figures and the dinosaur. They still play. And my oldest, she's about to be 15. She stopped playing with toys when she was about 8. And so, like, I guess I really enjoy seeing the kids still playing outside,
Yeah.
riding bikes, playing with toys, pretend playing, that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
awesome.
having so much helps because they're like, what do you have? And then they also like to resell them with me too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Keep them interested in reselling for sure. It's
I'm
not
trying.
a bad thing. Entrepreneurship, and sounds like you are an early adopter. Is that you're veterinarian? So obviously you're a business owner and you do the thing. Favorite creature to work on?
See, I do work on a lot of exotics. I mean, I'll stay with like the dog or cat. They're they get the most interaction with the animal. But I've always been like a reptile guy. Growing up, I had a lot of reptiles, so I'll go snake. I'm a big snake fan. Yeah, and I do treat a fair amount of them, more than most veterinarians, but we still don't treat a ton.
Really? What kind of things do you treat on a snake? Like what goes wrong, I suppose?
Often like a shedding problem, eye problems, usually relating to a shed, or just not eating, respiratory infections. I would say they're the big 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ellie just recently brought her children to I don't know if it was an exotic animal fair.
Yeah, it was like
thing. And her boys were posted on Facebook with this huge, like, I don't know what the hell, python. That was a big snake.
Oh, is it?
huge.
Yeah.
Cool.
Holding it, and then the snake starts to kind of come up to their face, and they're like, "Oh."
I think the younger one, Victor, was like, he was cool. He was chill with it. He's like, okay, I'm good.
More afraid one, but he like once it was there, I think he also didn't get the head. I think Hector had a snake that was like right here.
Yeah.
It's huge.
So snakes, huh? Man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Keith, if I could do that's an honorable trade and profession that you're doing. And I'm sure your customers appreciate the fact that you're there and available, because exotic veterinarians are not very common, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we see a lot of exotics that like they bring their dog somewhere, but they won't see a guinea pig or a chinchilla, whatever they have. So we see them. But yeah, there's a lot of people that don't do that.
Yeah.
My kids have been asking for a bearded dragon since that expo.
There you go. They're great. Yeah.
I don't know. I just can't get behind a reptilian. I'm not sure.
I'm okay with reptiles. Turtles are my favorite. I've had a snake. I really want a beardy, but we got a full house, so we have 4 kids, 2 dogs. Like it's already.
Yeah.
So your recent picking video, which is first time I heard that you were a veterinarian. You had this dog come charging at you.
Ooh.
How often does that happen to you? Because I mean, do they sense that you're a vet or?
No, I mean maybe they smelled it on my shoes, something like that. But no, that was funny. You're right. I don't think I've ever in a regular video said I'm a veterinarian. I realized when I was editing it, should I take, but I don't necessarily hide from it. But that's funny you said that, because I think I brought it up on my lives and people know, but I think that was the first regular video I've ever said that. But yeah, that's fun. The interacting with animals at yard sales doesn't happen a ton for me because I'm more of a flea market guy. And rarely is there a dog at a flea market, but yeah, it's fun.
When I saw your most recent video, something that really caught my attention about it is the fact that you put yourself out there. You say, I'm a reseller, I'm a collector, I'm also, I price items, I do that type of thing. Do you have anything of X, Y, Z? You list down the stuff, and you got a lot of like feedback from people. So yeah, I think that's important context for those that might be new to this or going out there to yard sales. Don't be afraid to tell people that you're a reseller or a buyer or collector, what have you. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I did something in that video that I've done before, but I know Rod Picking and Punching. If you guys know Rod's awesome. Yep. But he's preached this to me and to other people. And what I did twice in that video is when those people, they had some Eagle stuff or they had sports stuff they wanted to sell or they might sell, instead of what I've done for years at a show, if somebody had something to sell, I would give them my card. I would say maybe 1% of the time you get a call from that person or they reach out to you. And what I would encourage you, and Rod encouraged me, and what I did in this video is I said, hey, give me your number. I'll text you so you have my number. right? And then down the road, I have their number. I have Lady with Eagle stuff in my phone as a contact. I'll follow up in a couple weeks and see if she's come across that stuff. So that's a great little tip when you're out there sourcing to make those
Don't
connections.
pass the card, ask for the
Yeah.
number.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good indication whether or not they're serious too. I would think, because you can hand out a lot of business cards and never get, people just toss those. But if they're serious or they're not talking out the other side of their mouth, I mean, that could lead to has that led to sales for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I know I've bought a couple massive collections just through networking and buying something from people and saying, look, this is what I buy. Like I bought a collection of, I think 12,000 pennants from a guy because I bought 30 pennants from him. And we struck up a conversation. So it's always good to, take a little time to talk to people and let them know what you do. And if they want to move stuff, it's networking is key when you're, especially, locally. If they know what you like, and then they might have a friend who has stuff, and that's an important thing if you want to be successful and you want to be sourcing items.
Yeah,
that is important because a lot of people rely solely on thrift stores or Goodwills or what have you in reselling, and I think it's more important to organically build your quote unquote Rolodex. Do people even use those anymore? I had to explain what a Rolodex was to Ellie a couple of
that's true. Ago. Yeah. What if they're reselling Bolo? Maybe it's a reselling Bolo or something, but yeah.
But your contact list basically of, different people and I think it's important because at the end of the day, a reseller has only a few things, right? Their source, maybe, and their knowledge. So we don't have a lot other than that, really. When you think about it, you're building towards, let's say you want to retire, what have you. I would say those are two of the most important things to kind of lock in on early. So as you're building through your empire, if we want to call it that, for lack of a better word, really think about that in the early stages, get past the uncomfortable. So
yeah, absolutely.
So you do a lot of recording. Is it GoPro? Is that what you're using?
It is. Yep. Yeah, we're
Is it
GoPro 12.
Just curious.
Not at all. I will say it's funny at flea markets. I've been wearing a GoPro to flea markets for 4 years, maybe. And I think maybe like 2 or 3 times somebody's mentioned the camera. Sometimes I see their eyes staring at that area, but it's only 3 times I think they've mentioned it. Yard sales, I mean, people always seem to notice it a little bit more. I don't know, because you're coming to their driveway and it's more obvious. But I mean, it was definitely uncomfortable in the beginning for me, but it doesn't faze me at all anymore. It doesn't. Even when people don't really care. I've never had a negative interaction, saying when I'm filming them, because I generally try to aim down. I try to get the item I'm looking at, and I always tell people, look, you can see the angle of my camera. It's not, and your face is not going to be in there. I mean, sometimes it is, but I try not to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Experience at our flea market, and I had my GoPro on, and I haven't posted this footage because editing is a whole nother beast. But
it is. Yeah.
You can't be filming at the flea market.
They told you that?
Yeah. Really? It's so surprised.
What I do with my GoPro at flea market, really anywhere, but mainly at flea markets, is I have a backpack and I have it's on my one of my arm mounts, not the shoulder strap. It's a strap mount. So it's not as, I think if you have it on the middle of your chest on a harness, that looks a little more obvious.
The necklace thing that just kind of snaps right here. So
yeah, so I know people use that. That's a little less obvious than the harness. But, yeah. But I think even the backpack is even a little less obvious because it's, you can say it's a backpack, but yeah, I think most people don't care.
Speaking of recording and being on YouTube and kind of getting, I would say some notoriety in regards, you've been in the game for a long time. Do you get noticed when you're out and about?
I do. Actually, today I was at a flea market and I think 4 people told me they watched my channel, which I rarely ever go to this flea market. So that was sort of unusual. I have not a ton. What I'm looking forward to someday is I used to do, and I still want to do, some videos with my wife that I don't know if you've seen them, but I I would show her like a sports item and have her guess the selling price. And she's like usually utterly disgusted by the item. It's like maybe a 1920s sweater and she's holding it with 2 fingers. And
Perfect.
those videos are awesome. I get a lot of great feedback on those videos. What would make my year if she ever gets recognized out in public as Mrs. Flips? It hasn't happened yet, but I'm hoping.
Wait, so when did you start recording? Like, so you said a month into buying for your collections. When did you start YouTube?
Right after or towards the tail end of the pandemic. Because I'll tell you, I didn't even know there was YouTube resellers before the pandemic. And I would be at work and we were still open. We never shut down, but I would like go into my car and eat lunch or dinner because you could have your mask off and need something to do in your car. So I was just scrolling through YouTube. I was never even on YouTube really before that. And I found John, the Cincinnati Picker, because he buys sports stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did not know this was a thing. I was like living vicariously through him, like every day when I was eating lunch in my car. And I'm like, I'm doing the same thing every weekend. I'm set up at shows. I'm shopping, flea markets, and Limley. I picked up a GoPro and went from there. So it was right in the pandemic that I started.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would have thought a little further back. So
I wish, because that would be a much bigger channel. Yeah, I missed the heyday of YouTube growth, I think. But it's
I mean, your channel's a pretty good sized channel. I mean, for the time period of you've been on, I would say that's pretty good growth. A lot of sports fans out there. What would you say to your following? If you had like just a few moments to just, talk to them really quickly.
To like the people who watch me.
Correct.
So I think they, to those people, I think they are doing what I was doing with John, right? They're living vicariously through me. I live in a great part of the country that in Mid-Atlantic, East Coast, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, there's awesome picking. There's good picking up in New England too. I pick at Brimfield. But if you're in Arizona, if you're in California and Kansas, there really aren't those kind of opportunities to pick like that. So I know I've been told in comments and in person that they live vicariously through that because it's just not available to them. And I do try to educate a little bit in some videos when I can. I don't throw it in the people's face if it's not applicable, but I do that for people too. And I think they appreciate that.
Yeah. That's impactful to a lot of people. I know that you're making a difference in someone's life, I'm sure. And that's kind of what this podcast is about, showing other resellers or someone that might be interested in reselling, which is kind of I would say maybe, I don't know if our niche down in our podcast or not. We want to make sure that if you are new to reselling, that there's opportunity there for you. You can see success through the people that we have that have been successful in reselling, and also social media content creation. I think it's really impactful to understand that, and to why not you, why not now type of mindset is what it takes,
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. Yep.
Yeah. So Keith, I want to thank you for being a part of this. Before we leave our journey today, I want to one more time let people know where they can find you, where they can buy from you too, because I think that's super important as well.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, so I am Vintage Sport Flips, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Rips and Brews on YouTube. It's my card channel. Buy It All podcast on YouTube. I sell on eBay. I have 2 eBay accounts. One's an all card account. That's Vintage Sport Flips. My main account, Vintage Pigskin. It's sort of Pigskin's like, early football. It's a weird name if you don't understand the origin of football a little bit. But Vintage Pigskin is I sell a little bit of everything, but mainly sport focused. Antique Sport Shop on Etsy. That's my Etsy account. And then like I said, I live sell, same name, Vintage Sport Flips on Dibdit Cards, and on Whatnot. It's been a while, but I'll be back over there at some point. So yeah, there you go.
There you go. We appreciate you coming on the podcast. Ellie, any final questions for Keith before we wrap things up?
I don't have any questions. I appreciate you coming on. I wish that I knew more about sports to ask more questions, but I have really learned. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We learned one thing about the Red Sox. They're not doing very good this year. Anyways, go Eagles.
Yeah, go Birds.
There we go. Fly, Eagles, fly. Is that what it is? I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
there we go.
figured it out. Good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you again, Keith, for being a part of this thing. And hang on one second. We got one more thing for you before we wrap things up. I want to thank everybody for being a part of season 2 of Launchpad Reseller Podcast. Remember, you can listen to this on Apple. You can listen to it on Spotify and also now Amazon. Be sure to check us out on your favorite, and be sure to check out this episode is going to be released I guess the 15th, so we're pre-recording, just know that. So this is going to launch as a premiere. All right, and that's it for now, and we'll catch you on the next Launchpad Reseller Podcast. I want to remind you, if you can't be good at it.